Right. I think we're live. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Now, probably I'm speaking only to myself because I don't think it's gonna be a lot of people joining. It's not like I have a big channel and everybody's gonna just jump in and I'm gonna have thousands of people. Probably not today, but this is just something that I wanted to do in order to um, speak out my mind. If nobody, it doesn't matter if anybody sees this, but if you're there watching it, or if you watch this probably a few months, few days after this, awesome that you can hopefully connect, right? So what I wanted to talk to you about, what I wanted to say is, the title says, online business, and also I was a Democrat, and also it says Project Mockingbird. Well, let's talk about online business because I really wanted to say certain things about the type of life we're living right now, the type of situations that we are right now. Is a situation in which we have been told to stay in our houses, right? Unless you work in an essential business, or unless you uh, have an essential business, probably you're gonna be at home, in a quarantine, in a lockdown, and of course, without the possibility of work. Even though the government is helping and is giving you this impulse, all this money and unemployment also, right? Some people are making more money in unemployment than in their jobs, but that's a different subject. But what I wanted to talk to you is about an online business, and I'm not trying to propose a particular business to you. I'm just saying that for the longest time, at least for 5 7 years, I've been talking about having your own online business, and I think it's the way in which you can actually provide, um, because the economy is moving towards online, right? Towards internet, right? So, like, if you see, Amazon is the biggest company, biggest provider of goods, and not necessarily are like software or things that are not uh, tangible. Of course, they're selling products, but you can buy them online. So, and if you are a person who has the intention of having a business in which you don't have to, um, let's say, you don't have to have all these goods in your house and try to ship them and do all that stuff, you can actually manage your business from home. And that is what I try to say. That's what I'm trying to convince people, or to move at least people, my friends and my family, try to tell them that that's the way it goes, right? And I was saying that probably 7 years ago or 5 years ago, and now you see what is going on with the virus, with COVID, and everybody was in lockdown, and apparently they want to put us in lockdown again. Now, in Peru, where I'm from, everybody's staying in lockdown. They have been in lockdown for at least 3 months already, and they're gonna go all the way to July, apparently. So imagine those people, right? When you don't have the ability to have a job, when you don't have the ability to leave your house to go and get, and so you can provide for your family, it's gonna be very tough. It's gonna be very tough, especially if in different countries. Not like in the U.S. At least we're getting unemployment, or we're getting the money from the government, and it's helping us, and that's fantastic to a certain point, but to a certain extent, right? But that's the idea. That's a big awakening that we're having when we have to uh, try to find ways to survive. So now you see a lot of people selling in Peru. You see people selling stuff in Facebook, like masks, and I don't know, food delivery, whatever. Is very very hard right now. So that's why I always think that an online business is what we should be moving for, especially normal people, regular people like you and me, that we're at home and you have a job and you can have a little bit of time where you can work on that business, right? Whatever is a website where you're blogging and you can do that, a YouTube channel like here, when you can monetize that with certain ways, you start selling t-shirts or whatever, an affiliate marketing business, and Amazon, drop shipping, so many ways that you can do it online. And of course, it takes a little bit of a learning curve, and it takes um, you have to be persistent, but that's how it is. You need to persist, right? Like anything in life. Now, in my particular case, I used to work for a restaurant for the longest time, and now I left that industry, and I'm working in the mornings, which is great because I get to be with my family or my friends or my loved ones in on the weekends, which is great. Um, and that's great. But of course, I never, or I kind of like stopped for a bit, uh, trying to push for my online business. But I think that I'm getting my groove back. So if you see my last video, probably was like a couple years ago or a year ago. I think I had long hair, and that's what I wanted to do. Right? I was in a funk. I was in a total funk. When I don't know. I was totally. I didn't want to do anything online. So this is my first video coming back after a while, and I hope that if you get to see this, and if you're in the same situation that I was, you probably can snap out of it and come back, right? So online business, yes, I think is the best way for any mom and dad and anybody who is at home, and they don't know what to do. That's a very that's an easier way to create your own business and probably provide for your family, because it also it doesn't take a lot of a capital to start, right? You don't have to like rent a store and like put $10,000, $20,000 in something that you don't know if it's gonna work, right? So if it doesn't work at the first time, you didn't spend more than $350 probably, or $150 for a business. So that's a good idea, and that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos like this, talking to you about many things. And of course, I'm not trying to say that I know everything, or that I know anything really. I just want to say things that I believe, that I think, and of course I'm open to change my mind with your comments, with whatever you wanted to say. Probably if you can change my mind, I'll be grateful to. So when I was a kid, when I was young, when I'm 40 right now, when I was 18, 20 years old, I thought I knew everything about life. And the more I learned within years, I realized that I don't know nothing. Seriously. Like I know nothing, right? So I just want to talk. I just want to express myself here, talk to you guys. And if you feel like this is something that probably resonates with you, follow me here in the journey. I mean, let's go together with this. And if I can help you in any way, I will help you with. And if you think that I should probably I'm wrong on something, please, I'm open to hear your or to read your comments as well, right? So that's what I wanted to say about online business. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing videos and probably start some business. Probably start doing, I don't know, selling t-shirts down here with links, or tell you, about this product and whatever, and you decide. But that's about the online business, about the situation that we are. We are in a situation in which all the governments in the world, the whole world is in a pandemic, is in a total state of chaos, and everywhere in the world you see situations where are not only the COVID-19, but it's also like a big plague of locusts coming everywhere, and people are in panic right now, right? And there is an incredible amount of protest happening in the U.S. right now, and people that raise their voice against that are getting smashed on on Twitter, online, There's so many things in the world that right now feel like is the end of times, and it really really looks biblical. And something that I realize is that really we are passing through spiritual warfare, to a, a fight between good and evil, which has been going on forever, probably. And we are at the probably at the end of it, or right in a moment where everything can just go to shit, or everything can just like get better, right? And that's the idea. I think that's the ascension. That's the spiritual awakening that we're many people are having, and I think I had, and I hope that everybody wakes up from this madness, right? So what I wanted to say starting, it was that when I was younger, when I became a citizen in the for the U.S., it was 2013. They asked me if I wanted to vote, and of course, I thought it was my responsibility, my that I needed to vote and be part of, choosing our government, or the people who's gonna govern, the people who are gonna like lead the country. And so when they give me this ballot to sign, if I'm independent, Republican, or Democrat, I thought to myself, okay, what am I, right? And I realized I thought I'm a Democrat because I believe in democracy, and you always hear, right, democracy, democracy, which means, you get to choose, right, your governors, and, freedom of speech. I'm now thinking I'm a Democrat. I believe in democracy, so I signed up for to be a Democrat. Funny thing, later on, I realized that America country, same like Peru, is it was founded as a republic, and then you start learning and understanding what's going on in the Republic of Plateau. He talks about that countries go from republic to democracy to tyranny. And many people are going to be thinking that right now Donald Trump is actually a tyrant, right? He's actually coming. It's going to be the tyranny of Donald Trump, and I don't think it's gonna be like that. But I'm not saying that I believe in Donald Trump to being the best guy in the world, because he's a human, and of course, you know, we can see his behavior, and which is exponentially. The media definitely puts Donald Trump like he's like the worst human being in the world, right? Now you can have your own opinions on Donald Trump, um, but what I wanted to say is that at the end of the day, all this system for the longest time has been just a farce, because all these politicians, they were just feeding themselves and feeding their families, and in at expense of us, at least the taxpayers, right, and people. So what I noticed is that actually it doesn't matter if you were if the government was a democratic government or it was a republic government. At the end of the day, they were not serving the people. You know. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying like we have to change the system, and and throw it. But the problem is whenever you have somebody in power, corruption can happen, because the heart of human beings is corruptible. So going back to what we were talking about, spiritual awakening, when you don't have God in your heart, your heart can be corrupt. Okay, so that's the most important thing, I think. And get closer to God. When I was a kid, I was Catholic. In Peru, you grow up as a Catholic, and now I see the Catholic Church as very corrupt. With so many cases of pedophilia and so many things. Now, I am a Christian. I do believe in God, and I do believe in Jesus Christ, and that's what I incline to, and that's what I refuge in. And I pray every night, and I try to get closer to God. And when you get closer to God, and when you're actually really, really, when your heart is, closer to God, is more difficult to lie and to be corrupt. I When you have a relationship with God, when you have a relationship with Jesus, is way more difficult for you to be a hypocrite and just lie and just deceive and not be an honest person and not to try, not to do good. Even though when you get closer to God, it's gonna be you're gonna have more attacks from the devil, right? We can talk about that more for sure, but that's how it is. When the closer you get to God, the most temptations come your way. It's like the devil is trying to get you back. And it sounds crazy. I know you might think like, what are you talking about, God and the devil? But you need God in your life. I didn't think that way when I was younger. Of course, you start believing that in science, and you start believing in so many things, and then you believe sometimes that you don't need God in your life, or you think that if it's bad things happening in the world, why God allows that, right? So put in your comments, what do you think? What do you think is going on? What do you think that God allows those things, or why? Or do you have God in your life? Do you pray every night? Do you have a relationship with Christ, with Jesus? And that's my religion. That's what I believe in. Okay, and that's why sometimes it's difficult for me to accept other teachings, even though I'm very open. Brothers, sisters, anybody, brothers and sisters. We all are brothers and sisters. I'm going everywhere right now with this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The thing is that if we get closer to God, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You still are gonna do the things to be, an open person, more of a brother, more of a sister, more of a understanding person, And when you have God in your life, you don't wanna shut down the other people, right? The other party. So, talking about the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, for the longest time we had a politicians being part of the system, right? So being part of these clubs, right? When you are a Democrat or a Republican, but you are still hanging out with these people, hanging out all in this club, right? And they're all in the same, all in Washington, and all the same, the same, the different masks. You're a Democrat or you're a Republican, but you are the same pretty much. Think about it. In the last few presidencies, everybody went to war. Every single body went to war. We had George Bush going to, we've been, first of all, in Afghanistan for like 20 years, and we're still there. We had the war of Syria, Libya, we have Iraq, Vietnam, what else? So we have many wars, right? I was listening to the other day that Obama, he invaded 7 countries. And he had the Nobel Peace Award, right? How is that possible? Like, how you invade 7 countries and bombing all of the places, and you have so much war, you created ISIS, and you have the Nobel Prize, right? I never seen something like that. But yeah, these politicians they have been always part of the same club, right? The Bushes, the Clintons, and now the Obamas, right? And of course, Donald Trump could be part of the same. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could be. There is a chance, for sure. There is a chance, But what I see is that as soon as he came into the candidates and into to be a candidate for the presidency, everybody went nuts. And that's what I see now. Every time he tweets something, every time he says something, every time he does something, they all go insane. The media, I'm talking about the media mainly, right? And that has to say something to you, that why is the media so against Trump? Why is the media like? And by the media, I'm talking about all these uh, uh, news places, right? The CNN and MSNBC and ABC and all, the Washington Post, the New York Times, everybody attacking Trump like crazy. And what I heard is that the numbers are actually really good, like the lowest, not right now after COVID, but previous COVID, the unemployment for black people were the lowest ever. Unemployment for women, unemployment in general. The economy was like crazy. As soon as he got into power, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, they were in the highest ever. The highest ever. The market in the highest ever. Um, so why is it the media attacking him so much? Well, because probably comments like "grab her by the pussy," or maybe because he just say things that are outrageous, right? Or maybe because he say things, or he tweets, and then people go crazy. But why is that all these people, CNN, MSNBC, Hollywood, all these actors that are trying to tell us what to think, all these stars like sports stars, right? LeBron James, and why all these people are trying to go against Trump so much? Because he's a racist. Probably he's a racist, probably. But if you can link in a comment or something that he has said that he's racist, um, probably. But I'm a Latino guy, man. I don't feel he's racist. I don't feel like he's racist, even though he stopped the caravan coming from Honduras, Guatemala, that coming through Mexico, all these refugees, all these caravan. He stopped them, and I didn't feel like that was a bad move, um, and I didn't feel attacked towards me. I didn't feel like I'm a Latino and he's racist towards Latino people. I didn't feel that, and so why is all these people so crazy about Trump? Probably because he's not from the same club, right? He's an outsider who came in, and somehow they never thought that she will lose. Somehow they never thought that he will win. All the polls were like, Hillary Clinton is gonna win by a landslide, and he has no chance. Everybody was saying he has no chance to win this, right? So even then, they were lying. That's my point of view. Even then, they were lying. And now you have Biden ahead in the polls, right? So it seems like deja vu. It seems like the same thing that happened before, even though Biden hasn't gone for a rally. Even Biden is like in the basement doing online stuff, and to me, what I see is that he cannot really. I don't see him suitable to be a leader right now, and he has been in government for at least 40 years, and I don't remember, or I don't know, like one thing, two things, three things that he have done for anybody at all. I don't remember that. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that the Democratic Party right now have done for in the last 4 years, like in the presidency of Trump. On all this time where the presidency of Trump is going on, which I don't know if the numbers are real. I'm just hearing that the economy is doing great, that the unemployment and all the things that we talk. I haven't heard one thing that the Democratic Party has done. Like Nancy Pelosi, and it's just attacking Trump. It's just the Russia collusion. It's just the impeachment. It's just everything to try to stop that. And now what they are after is like to put us back in a lockdown with COVID, which exists, but I don't know to what point was made in a lab or it was just a bad soup. You gotta decide that. You gotta investigate yourself. But one thing I do know is that in the 50s there was a project called Project Mockingbird. In the Project Mockingbird, it was an initiative by the CIA to infiltrate media, right? Radio, TV, all the news, and the CIA will control the narrative, whatever they wanted to tell us. So then we learn from the media, and we like sheep will be just like following blindly to whatever they say. And that's what has been going on, and now then with time internet comes in, right? And with internet, which is a great advancement and a lot of great things, there are bad things coming with internet as well. And one of the bad things for them was that people get to inform themselves, that you don't need any more TV or news like CNN to do your research. You don't have to just listen to what they want to say. You can actually investigate yourself, and that's what I'm a big proponent of. You getting the information right now. There is also an overwhelming amount of information and misinformation. So how do you know what's real and what's not? And I don't have that answer. Like 100%, I don't have that answer. What I am inclined to believe, that we have a some sort of resort uh, inside of us, some sort of a compass that we have, which is our intuition, right? So you have your intuition, you have your heart tells you, your gut tells you, this person is lying to me, right? This person is lying to me. All these people are doing something. Something is wrong. And when you are when your vision is not blurred, it's not blurry. When you are clean up here, and and I say clean up here because you are like away from drugs and away from alcohol. Now, I'm not saying you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying if you do it all every day, then your vision is gonna be blurry, and you cannot hear whatever the signal. You're not gonna be able to see the signs around because you are pretty much hypnotized. If you're watching TV all day long, and then you're doing drugs all day long, and then you are like drinking every day or something like that, and then you're watching porn every single day, especially for guys. And I say that by experience. All those things that are out there. Why do you think porn is free? Why do you think porn is free? So they give us all this stuff in sugar and so and everything, and all that stuff takes you out of alignment. So you are not receiving good information from God. You are not receiving good information from our source, right? Because your connection is all with interference. So you're not gonna be able to. But if you can try to get those things away from you and get closer to God, and trying to be a better person, start to doing some exercise, eating better, have a relationship with God, and probably pick up a book here and there, you start to have discernment and to realize that you probably are being lied in certain areas. So I'm not saying here again that I know what's going on. I'm just saying that because I can be deceived probably too. But what I see is that we're in this spiritual warfare, and the spiritual warfare is between good and evil. And one thing I notice right now is that evil is very big right now. It's very, very big, right? So you need to get strong and be good and accept people, even though, like I was talking to Joy. Joy is my brother-in-law, okay? And Joy, I probably shouldn't say his name, but I'm not gonna say his last name. I'm just saying Joy. He used to be like me when I was younger too, like crazy dude, going, probably drinking, women, whatever, like crazy, and living life. But then he has been nourishing his relationship with God, and we were talking a couple of days ago, and we were saying about, Jesus say in the cross when he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. You know, so even when you have people doing crazy stuff like protesting and hurting other people, I'm not saying protesting is good. I mean, you can protest anything, whatever your rights are, whatever. But if you're protesting and hurting people or hurting property or and destroying, that's not good. You know, if I have a kid, I don't have kids, but if I have a kid and my kid, has a temper tantrum and destroy his TV, that's not a good way to make a change. You don't have to do that. You can just go for the proper channels. But regardless, what I'm saying is we are all brothers and sisters, and we need to have some understanding, and we need to have some empathy and compassion. And those things are very important in order for you, because how would you feel if you just make your point by force? Like if I want to tell you, what, Trump, blah blah blah, and I'm telling you all this stuff, and then I'm just like, and if you don't want it, F you, and blah. That's not correct either. That's not the way that, that's not living by God, right? And probably I'm gonna be talking a lot about God in these videos, just because this is where I am right now. I'm very close to God, and I want to live right, and I think that's the most meaningful way to do it. I've been talking about I was actually living in a I used to live in New York. I was married, and I used to live in New York, in New York State, okay, upstate New York, and I wanted to leave New York. I was like, this place is boring. It was very cold, so I wanted to live there. But I was like, I'm very bored. I want to go to Florida and party. That's what I wanted. I wanted to come to Florida to party like crazy. And I came to Florida, and I, started living for a bit here, and party for the first couple of years, I think, like crazy. And then I realized, that this is a very superficial state. Superficial. Like a lot of people are here just like being superficial, being like living life without meaning sometimes. I'm not saying everybody, but it's a lot of that here. A lot of that. And so now I find myself thinking about, because I follow this guy, and if you can follow him, you're not gonna find him anywhere. You're gonna find some videos of him in YouTube, but you're not gonna find him in Twitter and anything, because I've been censored by everybody. And now he has his own place, which is unauthorized.tv. But his name is Owen Benjamin, and he was a comedian who used to live in LA and moved to the countryside, and now he has a house there with a land, and is raising chicken and goats, and making fences, and working there, and doing his streams in unauthorized.tv. And I love that. I love that. And I never thought that I will really wanting to go to the countryside, and be surrounded by nature, and work, and try to provide and support family by having chickens and goats. And that's really what I want now. That's what I want to do now. And anyway, All right, guys. This has been a big rant so far with everything that I wanted to say, like from online business to I was a Democrat, and now the things that are happening. And we're gonna talk more about that for sure. We're gonna go very in depth about all these things, but right now I just wanted to get this out of my chest and talk to you about what's going on with me and what are the things that I want, that I think, and it doesn't matter if it's 100 people, 1,000, or if it's 10, or if it's one person that my message reach at this point. As long as I want to put my voice out there so I can make a little bit of a difference in the world, and not because I want it for myself or egotistic reasons, but because I feel like sometimes people need a good message instead of the message that is happening in in media, and the things that they just show us that is freaking terrible right now. So if if whatever I'm saying here brings you any sort of good feelings, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Talk to you soon, and actually I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye bye.